The relationship between humans and plants in the United States is a complex story tied to indigenous history, slavery, the war on drugs, industrialization, and many other facets of American life that interact with the natural world. Plants and compounds derived from them have saved many lives as well as been responsible for the deaths of many. What do plant medicinals and phytopharmacology mean to students at Cornell?
What do you know about plant medicinals and phytopharmacology?
I know nothing of that.
Oh, nothing. Why?
I don't know much, but I know that marijuana is sometimes used after chemotherapy.
I only know about quinine tree being used as an anti-malarial, and that is about the extent of my plant medicinal knowledge.
I heard that they are used in various creams such as CBD oils and stuff like that. I know that it's an emerging area in the pharmaceutical industry.
As you can see from this example, our plant knowledge is varied and sparse. Only 24% of Americans reported taking a form of herbal medicine in 2021, and 10% self-medicate with narcotics like marijuana or psychedelics. Despite this minority in the United States, plant medicinals are used more commonly around the globe, with the market for plants that have well-known bioactive compounds, also known as adaptogens, estimated to be around $10.3 billion and is projected to double in the next decade. With more medicinal herbs available due to cultural exchange and paranoias towards our big healthcare institutions, it is important to be educated on how these plants affect our bodies and play a role in our communities, as well as how cultures have traditionally moderated the use of mind and body-altering substances in the United States and abroad. To start, let's introduce our expert and what it means to use medicinal plants.
So my name is Giulia Friso, and I was born and raised in northern Italy, where I completed my undergraduate and master's study, respectively in biology and biochemistry and pharmacology. And my position at Cornell, I am a senior research associate and senior lecturer in the plant biology section of SIPS. Ethnobotany really means the study of the relationship between plant, people, and culture. And so if you think about until the end of the 1800s, plants and natural product, either from other animal or other organism, including, fungi and minerals, were the only medicine available. And so medical ethnobotany goes back to ancient civilization, to the beginning of civilization, and has been used for millennia for the treatment of disease, but also for the maintenance of health. And is still used today in many parts of the world. And in fact, according to the World Health Organization, 80% of the world population today, mostly in developing countries, depend on traditional and herbal medicine for the treatment of diseases.
The lack of ethnobotanical knowledge in the United States can largely be attributed to a history of industrialization and colonization. The eradication of indigenous people in the Americas led to a tremendous loss in native plant knowledge. And the first synthetic drugs were produced in 1869, and many were synthesized from coal byproducts produced by early industrial manufacturing that was cheaper to produce than plant medicinals, leading consumers to steer away from nature's medicine. Despite this fact, the current pharmaceutical industry still heavily relies on bioactive compounds of plants for designing and sourcing important drugs.
By saying that a lot of pharmaceuticals that are prescribed today or even available over the counter in our pharmacy, including morphine, codeine, aspirin, and some of the most used chemotherapy agents, such as vinblastine and vincristine, they are examples of pharmaceuticals that derive from natural compounds synthesized by plants, right? So a lot of people think it's either one or the other, but in fact, even our Western medicine approach uses a lot of compounds that come from plants. Not only
consumers are becoming increasingly experimental with health treatments, with half of Americans saying they've tried some form of alternative medicines. Over the pandemic, interest in adaptogens caused renewed discussion on consuming bioactive compounds to deal with mental and physical health, with newer functional beverages co-opting plants a part of traditional Chinese or Ayurvedic medicine practices. However, the lack of regulation and consumer knowledge on plant medicinals creates big risks.
Many people think that natural means safe. In fact, actually, many of the plants that we use medicinally are poison if used at the wrong dose, right? The one may be taking the pharmaceutical, may be degraded very rapidly. And this is a problem, like in the case of birth control pills. If a woman would have to take St. John's wort, that it's a popular, supplements for mild depression, in combination with birth control pill, the birth control may just not work altogether.
It's important to note the United States is unique in how its government and consumers interact with botanical medicines due to the lack of established traditions associated with natural remedies.
Right, so you go to a pharmacy in Europe, in Italy. I live in Germany for a while. Germany is very strong tradition of herbal medicine, and the pharmacy will offer you as first something natural or homeopathic or whatever, and then if they would tell you, if this doesn't work, come back tomorrow and I will give you something stronger, right? And I feel like here in the US, we are not quite there yet, with pharmacies offering alternative that maybe compromise less your liver or something like that, right? And what's interesting also of the EU in general, it allows proof of health benefit based on documented evidence of traditional uses. So, for example, if herbal substances have been in medicinal use in the tradition for more than 30 years and has no evidence of causing harm, they are automatically accepted by the governmental, right? And this is very different from.
With the opioid crisis causing massive distrust in the U.S. healthcare system, plant medicinals and other alternatives could be a great solution to intense drug dosages if handled correctly. If you'd like to follow the trail and learn more, Giulia teaches multiple classes on aspects of phytopharmacology at Cornell.
So Plant Bio 2100 is medical ethnobotany. Plant Bio 3100 is plant and drug discovery. In that class, I talk about the whole process from the willow tree that I have behind me there, bark, to aspirin, and including the whole FDA approval, clinical trial, and so on. And so I just talk about plants as source of medicine sold by pharmaceutical companies. And the last class is Plant Science 5045, and it's cannabis chemistry and pharmacology. I also teach some of these classes in the winter-summer semester. And I also created two e-Cornell certificates, which are 6 and 5 classes on medicinal plants and medical cannabis.